Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Lyndon Byers. What's up?
My shoe, my buddy.
What?
I hope you're still my buddy.
Oh, I'm your buddy forever, LB. I'm your buddy forever. Even after you just like left me hanging with Josh Dolan that day, I still love you and I'll love you forever. So don't even worry about that, man.
I pulled a nutty.
Oh, well, wouldn't be the first time, my friend. That's okay.
Yeah. Some things never change.
Well, listen, LB, I've been talking to, I talked to Mr. Carey this week and Kevin Barbary and Ozone and Bob and Zip. And, I just want to check in with you because as far, AAF has been off the air it's been a year now, which is just crazy to me. But one of the biggest questions I get is, how's LB doing? Can you let people know?
I'm doing great. My goal is to be 100%. I'm dealing with the whole hip thing. It was a crazy time. I was in so much pain at AF and it started to mentally affect me. Everything started to mentally affect me. My mind, my body, work. I didn't think I was having fun, which I thought caused you not to have fun. Trying to get myself healthy. I had surgery again. I had a massive staph infection where I had no hip in my body. I had an open wound. I was on all kinds of these antibiotic balls twice a day where I couldn't even move. It was crazy, but we weathered the storm. I'm back riding the bike. I can walk on crutches, and I'm happy. Will keeps me happy. Annie looks after me, and hopefully I'll be back to being a good provider and back to 100% by my goal is June 1st. So that's the ticket. Just stay the course right now with doing my therapy exercises.
It's been a year since AAF went off, and you were such a huge part of that station and the morning show. And I just want to relate a story. I related a story about when I first met Ozone yesterday. And then when I first met you were, well, actually, when I first met you, I was doing overnights, and you were coming in during the morning show, and you were nothing but nice to me. But when I first really met you, like when we were out at an AAF event, I believe it was Axis, the old Axis on Lansdowne Street. And I think it may have been we had a free Godsmack show. And only AAF listeners could get in. And we may or may not have had a shot of tequila. And somehow, people keep bringing this up. They saw me riding you like a donkey at Access. I think that's what happened. Can you confirm this?
I can 100% confirm that you rode me like you rode me hard and put me away, hammered and wet.
And I remember thinking like we did a loop around the bar, and then we got up and we had some more shots, and I was thinking I'm really going to like working at this place. These people seem to be cool. Yeah.
Well, it was. I'll just say this, Mike Shuey. I had an incredible, a crazy amount of fun, and I put a lot of people through a lot of headaches. But I think we all weathered the storm. AAF was an incredible institution. All the day parts, all the people that contributed to everything that we did, including the listeners, including so many musicians that were huge fans of, and actors and celebrities. I can't remember how many celebrities and people used to say after we were done the interviews or when they came on again that we were the coolest morning show to do interviews with because it wasn't your cookie cutter questions. We were talking about and everything else,
right,
and they did, and they played right along and had a great time.
I remember Paul Rudd before he became super huge. He came into the studio. I forget what he was promoting, but he came in and we started talking, and then all of a sudden he stopped and went, "Oh, it's going to be like this? Oh, cool." It's just like, oh, I can loosen up. Oh yeah. Yeah. One of my.
Well, that's how.
No, go ahead, LB. Go ahead.
Well, typical. I'm still cutting people off. Yeah. No, I mean, we heard that from so many people, and it was great. Like I'll never forget. Excuse me. I'll never forget. What's his name? Richard Lewis.
Oh, Richard Lewis. Right? He was always fun.
You can't touch him.
Yep.
You can't touch him. He's an incredibly awesome, funny, great guy.
Yeah.
But he's phobic. You can't shake hands with him. He's got cleanser with him all day, every day, which he was way ahead of the game with the whole COVID thing. But do you remember when his Bic pen broke in his pocket?
Yes.
And he kept touching his face, and the ink was going on his face. And I'm not sure if it was during a break whether it was you or me or I'm not sure if it was him had tried to reach with a napkin to help him out, and he freaked.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe that was Greg. Greg tried to help him out. You know, he said it. You got a little ink on your face. He went, "Whoa, hey!" He really freaked out. He's really, really phobic about it. A lot of people are, but he was, that was crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy.
One of the best interview experiences, I should say, we did was with Matt Damon. And it was, sometimes when you do a radio interview, you have to go, like the movie company or whoever's promoting it, rents out a room, like a function room at a hotel, and they kind of like herd the people through there to interview whoever it is, and they have to, be there for 3 hours and answer the ssame questions and stuff like that. And so we were kind of part of that process with this Matt Damon interview because he was promoting.
It was way earlier than the Bourne movie.
No, it was the first Bourne movie.
The first Bourne?
Yeah, the first Bourne Identity movie. And so we go rolling in there. He's already done it for like 2 hours. He's probably burned out on it. So we walk in there. And I'm like the first guy in the room, and it's me, and then you, and then Greg, and then Kevin. And then so we walk into the room, and I walk right up to him, and it's like he's sitting on one side of the table. They have chairs for us. And I shake his hand. I'm like, "Hi, I'm Mike Shue. I'm with the Hillman Morning Show." And then you come in behind me, and you're like, "Hi, I'm Lydon Byers. I'm with the WAAF." And Matt Damon's face, he looked like he was 14 years old. His eyes got so wide, and he went, "Oh, my God. I totally know who you are. Oh, LB, dude, this is so odd." And then I believe he called Ben Affleck, right? And he said, "I'm sitting here with Lydon Byers, dude." He was like so excited, and you guys were talking. The first the first 10 minutes, we had like 15 minutes, and I think maybe the first 5 or 10 minutes was you guys just talking Bruins. And like you met him at a bar when you were injured one night, and
Harvard Square.
Yeah, in Harvard Square.
He was with his buddies at the Crimson Pub.
This is just it's incredible. And then there was that time you had to go away for 60 days up in Billerica, and I don't think anybody else could spin something like that into gold. And
well, I think more than anything, and I don't know who was at the point of it, but that was, you can give that on, and you put that on the AF listeners, and I, the fact that they care about the morning show so much, that they rallied around the whole free LB thing, which just blew my mind.
That was amazing.
I don't think there's a lot of owners or general managers of radio stations or presidents or whoever would have make the call would have a continental breakfast on the day that I got, and send me a limo on the day that I got released from Billerica after the 60 days to have breakfast at the Capitol Grill.
I know.
At a 5-star steakhouse.
that was amazing. And like it was just amazing that free LB was popping up all over the place. People were riding it on dirty trucks. They were making banners, hanging them over overpasses. Someone made stickers and started slapping them all over the place. It was incredible. It became like this movement, and all you had to do was go to jail and eat ramen from a hot pot and lift weights, and it was awesome.
Yeah. Lift some weights. A lot of green hot dogs on Hot Dog Tuesday night, movie night. Yeah, it was something that I learned an incredible lesson, and I made a huge mistake. I'm very thankful that I never killed anybody.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and I got away with I got away with a lot of craziness that shouldn't have happened, and I paid the price, and I should have paid the price. So
Well, you did. You did your time, LB. You did your time.
Yeah.
I gotta bring up that time that we went to Ireland. We went to Ireland a few times, thanks to the folks at Guinness for St. Patrick's Day, since that's coming up. And we used to go on these trips to the first one was just to Galway, which was lovely, and then they'd send us to Dublin, and we'd broadcast live, and the Guinness Brewery would hook us up. There was just an endless line of pints of Guinness, just constantly lined up. So it was amazing. We made it out of that country alive. But I remember one eventful evening. We had gone on a pub crawl in Galway, and I believe we ended up at the Red Square Inn or Red Square Pub. And they had a weird setup. It was a very old building, and so their bar was very long, but the corner of the bar kind of shot towards an angle in the wall, so it was a very narrow space you had to walk around to get to the main part of the bar as you came in. And I just remember you decided to remove your pants and just stand in that extremely narrow part of the bar, pantsless, and people had to kind of walk by you and your junk, I think, on that most of that evening. Yeah.
And I never got thrown out. Thank you to the bartenders and whoever was in charge of security. They had a great sense of humor, and I want everyone to know the reason I did that was that I was surrounded by 15 of the women Galway University women's soccer team. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I was just trying to maybe get a little while I was there.
Well, that's a very aggressive move, LB. Maybe next time just start with a hi. How are you? Most places you'd get arrested, but like you said, the security people at this pub were extremely very cool, and they said, "Hey, mate, could you just put your pants back on?" And you're like, "Oh, okay." And it was like every day. It was an everyday thing.
Yeah,
for them.
Well, and we got to go back there whenever we wanted. So
right, yeah,
it was wide open.
They were very cool. And then if we could, talk about all those times. You were involved most of the time in the WAAF Walk and Rock for Change. It changed over the years, but you walked hundreds of miles over many years, raising money for that. And in fact, you know what? I look back, and those are really the proudest moments for me. There's a lot of moments I'm not proud of course, but
well, and let everybody know you walked too. You weren't just someone on the radio. You put your time in during that charity event as well.
Yeah, but you did it
Greg started it. I mean,
it was just him.
Started walking from Worcester to Boston, or it was Boston.
Yeah, he would walk Route 9 from Worcester to Boston and collect money for the Worcester County Food Bank and the Greater Boston Food Bank, and then you joined in, and those were great times when something would happen. The AAF listeners would just immediately call up and say, "Hey, listen, this is how I can help, or I can donate this, or I can raffle off tickets that I won from you guys, and we can raise money for this person or this family." That's I think the greatest thing I take away from my experience at WAAF was that the listeners and the staff of that radio station, when somebody was in trouble, they came together quickly, and they were always there to help. That's the best thing I think I took away from that radio station. Yeah.
Mike, I couldn't agree more. The AAF listeners and fans were like us. They wear their hearts in their sleeves. They're hardworking men and women, whether they're blue collar, white collar. I don't care. During the Walk for Change, you had people that lost their jobs that were walking up and giving you $20, and you're just like, they're like, "Look, I don't have a job right now, but hey, here's 50, or here's 20, or here's 10. I mean, it was amazing what it evolved into for a lot of years. And I want to thank the New Hampshire people too, because I started walking from Manchester to Boston, and the people in New Hampshire that were AF listeners were amazingly awesome. I mean, like the years that I walked from Manchester, it became this thing where they they would make a donation and then hand me a bottle of tequila. One guy gave me. I remember one guy gave me an actual Tommy gun. It was a glass Tommy gun of vodka.
Yes.
And I remember, like, by the time we got to Boston on the last day of the Walk for Change, there was enough booze in the van that we could start a liquor store.
Yes. Yeah, people were very generous in other ways also.
Yeah. And I agree that AAF was special. We had special people. Like, our bosses were special people. You know, there's not a lot of bosses that would allow their workers to do what we pulled off.
I know. LB, I noticed the silence there. Thank you for not mentioning things that could probably get us arrested right now. I appreciate that.
Seriously. I was going to go into a few things. I'm like, I think people get it.
Yeah,
people understand.
Yeah, I think, the scars are still there. It's really great to connect with you. I'm glad you're doing well. I'm glad you're happy. You know, I'm glad you're taking care of yourself. That's something everybody they weren't wondering, what's LB up to because of AAF. They were wondering what's LB up to because we love you. We love LB. And
I just want everybody to know it was a long 3 or 4. I mean, we're talking 2017 when I had my first right hip surgery, and it's now 2021, and I'm just working to get 100%. I've had 5 surgeries, the staph infection, so a lot of that caused a lot of issues in my life, and I was crazy before, but that kind of took it to a whole new level, and it means the world to me that you want to call and say hi. I love that you're in the game, in the radio business. The Pike's a great station. You're incredibly talented. I'm not surprised that you're right back in the biz, and I wish you all the best. I know that you're going to be awesome and huge. And
well, I might need to, I know music and I know food, but when it comes to sports, I don't know as much as you. I might have to call you every now and then to get your opinion on some things, if that's okay.
Yeah, all right. I don't know how much I know about sports. Yeah, I watch on the fly on the NHL Network to catch up on what's going on around the league, and I still watch my Bruins.
What do you think about Claude getting fired from the Habs?
Well, I think that they they're in a situation with the shortened season. I think a lot of coaches in the NHL, when you're a bubble team with a short schedule, you can't afford a slow start. Everybody's got to be in the game. And especially with the way they arrange the divisions and put a bunch, how the Eastern Conference teams, they play each other like 10 times.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
8 times. It's like we're back in the 80s when, we used to play the Montreal Canadiens and everybody in our division 10 times.
Right. Yeah.
And it makes for great rivalries. It makes for, a lot of nastiness, a lot of incredible hockey. And that's what we're getting. And Claude's been a part of this, and I think he's a big boy. He's a great coach. He's been hugely successful. Even though he kicked me out of the Bruins locker room when the first time we met. We're friends now.
Okay, good. Good.
We've made up. We're friends. If I saw him, he'd shake my hand, and he knows my name. He knows I'm LB. But he's an incredible coach, and he'll land on his feet. But that's the game in the NHL. You gotta win, and especially in we talked about it a lot. When we were on the air together, that the world of sports has changed.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about make the playoffs anymore. The
right.
playoffs are squat. You make the playoffs. What do you playoffs? Come on. It's about it's Super Bowl or bust.
Right.
It's just a different world, and it makes it a better world, and it makes for better athletes, and those guys are incredibly talented. And and shout out to Tuukka Rask. I used to take. You were there. I used to take a lot of heat, and I'd tell everybody that this guy's going into the Hall of Fame, and and he's having another incredible year.
And you know what it's like to be between the pipes, because I remember we did a thing with Ray Bork up at the Songus Arena in Lowell. and you were. It was I forget. It was something. I forget what we were promoting. I think it was a charity thing.
No, we were promoting the Bruins charity. It was a charity hockey game against either the firemen or the police.
Oh, right. Yes. Right. And you put on the pads and you got in the net and you were taking shots off from Ray Bork, who, did not hit the puck lightly. Let's just say
No.
he had one of the most powerful shots in the NHL. So you know what Tuukka's going through. I remember you getting. We're talking Lydon Byers here. All right, one of the toughest guys I've ever known. The guy would, he would get out on the ice and he would ruin your face. And then I remember you, like, we were done and you were just like, I don't know how they do it. Goalies are crazy. This is insane. I'm never doing this again. You were just, yeah. It was awesome.
I probably asked for it, and I only crush people off the ice. I mean on the ice.
Right. Listen, buddy. It's so good to talk to you. People ask about you all the time. Where's LB? How's LB is the biggest question I get. And I'm glad you could take the time and give us an update. And I'm glad you're happy. And I'm glad your son Will's doing well. And I'm glad you're still with Annie, who is an angel. Our wives are angels. Yeah. We hit the lottery with those ladies for
100%,
sure.
100%, Mike Shue. You have a beautiful wife, a beautiful daughter. You deserve it. They deserve you. And I'm glad everything's good. And of course, my son's a goalie.
That's right. I forgot Will was a goalie.
we call Will Tuukka Byers.
Oh, that's right.
Shout out to the South Shore Kings.
Nice. Well,
great program. They got a great program over there.
Well, awesome, LB. Well, listen, take care of yourself, get better, and then when things loosen up, we can go out and have a couple of lemonades. How about that?
You got that right.
Some burgers, some lemonades. All right.
Yeah, well, that's a goal I made, my friend. I'll be ready for one because I'm off the sauce till I can walk upright and go to my son's hockey games.
Awesome. Thanks, LB. I love you, man.
I love you back, bud, and please give all my love and all our love from the Byers family to you and to your lovely wife and daughter.